So this case was, there was a trial and it was set aside due to military service issues that we needed addressed. However, ultimately, this is a non-payment case. The rent amount is $1,359. The defendant defaulted in 2 months, November and December. The prorated back rent is $2,191.93. There was a 3-day notice to vacate that was delivered on November the 4th. It was posted or affixed inside the main entry door that was attached to as Exhibit B in our petition. We are seeking the $2,191.93 in back rent, court costs, and possession today. And we are also prepared to address the military service issue.
All right. Is there any subsidy on the rent?
No, Your Honor.
And was this property under the CARES Act?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Good morning, Ms. Nicholson.
Good morning.
Ms. Bennett says this case is about finances. So my first question is the rent $1,359?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is it correct that it's been unpaid for November and now December?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Understand that you're active duty in the military?
Yes, ma'am. So I do have all of the paperwork. I didn't know if I needed to send it in or anything like that. But that being said, I'm working currently with the National Outreach Program for Veterans, as well as the Sunrise Program here in Austin. The program, it takes up to 65 days for them to be able to send funds through. So I'm just currently waiting on them to be able to send that through to the apartment complex.
Ms. Nicholson, did your service what armed forces are you with?
I'm with the Army. I'm in the Army Reserves at the moment.
Did your service in the reserves prevent you? Is that what impacted your ability to pay the rent?
Partially, just because with the government shutdown, that's part of the income that I make in order to pay my rent. And so being that we weren't able to go into work, we weren't getting paid. And because I'm reserve, we don't get back pay for that.
Ms. Bennis, do you have any information? You said you were ready to respond to the military portion of that.
Yes, Your Honor. So what I've seen so far in the record is that, so we completed the Service Member Civil Relief Act, and where we had to search through the DMDC, and we confirmed the SCRA status through DMDC, which we filed with the court as well, and it did not show up that she is an active military status. She produced a military identification. However, still out of abundance of caution, we verified the status through the Department of Defense Manpower Data Center. We do not dispute that she holds a valid military identification or that she is in the Army. However, the relevant inquiry is whether she is in qualifying military service as defined by 50 United States Section Code Section 511, which requires active duty service or qualifying federal activation, Your Honor. So plaintiff verified defendant status through the Department of Defense Manpower Data Center, which is the statutory recognized method for determining active duty status. And that's typically what we would do with all of our eviction petitions. We go through this website to verify that. And then furthermore, under Section 531 of United States Code, it prohibits evictions of a service member during military service except by court order and allows the court to stay proceedings if military service materially affects the ability to pay rent. I would argue here that her service did not reach that burden of materially affecting her ability to pay rent. And importantly, this section doesn't automatically bar the eviction. It just vests discretion in the court to allow the court to grant relief to the landlord as equity would require. Therefore, we do wish to continue today and get possession of the unit and back rent because it seems as the military status has not materially affected her ability to pay rent, and it's just a financial burden that she has been unable to pay.
Ms. Nicholson, you mentioned that you're in Army Reserve. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that your full-time position, or do you have some other occupation?
No. So currently I have just one other job. I had two other jobs before. I was working in marketing, and I lost that job in like the end of October. And so I've solely just been serving and bartending now. And while I search for other employment, and then I have the military as well. And so if there was ever a point where I was short, I would be able to go in to be able to make up for that extra money. If that makes sense? Does that make sense? Sorry.
No, I'm reviewing the statute.
I apologize.
No, no need. You're answering my questions, Ms. Nicholson. Thank you. Let me place that on recall. I want to check one more active piece of that, and then I will. So if you'll both just stay with us, you can place yourselves on mute and turn off your cameras, but I'm going to come back and visit your case after the rest of the docket, okay, y'all?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I need to look at a particular section of the statute for that one.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm looking at the statute. It is clear. So, Ms. Nicholson, it doesn't seem that you would fall within the statutory guidelines. The SCRA applies for very specific things. It's a member of on active duty, a member on active service, a member of the above, and absent as a result of sickness, wound, leave, or lawful cause. If you are in a reserve component or the Space Force and ordered to report for military service. Have you had that?
No, not as recent.
Okay.
Not
So
the
those
last.
things would not within fall it. You still have your right to an appeal, and certainly that deadline may be again, I just highlighted in the beginning, because of the holiday next week and the week after, that may change some of those deadlines. And Ms. Nicholson, I'll also say, I heard that you mentioned that you were reaching out to, was it Sunrise? And then there was another one, right?
Yes, ma'am. So Sunrise is working with the National Outreach, National Veterans Outreach.
Okay.
With the TVC program. It's just a little bit difficult because as of 2021, the program was dismantled in Austin. So Sunrise is working with the Houston office in order to get that payment. That's why it's taking a little bit longer, because I'd have been applying for other programs and then found that one applied on the 19th of November. And because the difficulty of it being in Houston, that's where they're, finding troubles.
Okay. Nicholson, give those agencies a call and let them know that the hearing was held today. Like I've said, and again, that's just anecdotally, I have had both landlords and tenants tell me they got a different response when they called after the hearing was over as opposed to when they called in advance of it. Let me give you all the numbers, though, so that you have it.
All right, guys, buckle up. Today we're stepping inside a real courtroom eviction case where military service, unpaid rent, and strict legal definitions collide. The case opens with a landlord laying out missed rent and seeking possession, while the tenant invokes military status as a shield. As the judge questions both sides, tension builds around whether reserve service qualifies for federal protection. The tenant explains job loss, delayed aid programs, and financial strain, creating real emotional weight. Then the legal pivot hits. The landlord's attorney explains that military ID alone isn't enough under the law. The judge pauses, reviews the statute, and the courtroom holds its breath. When proceedings resume, the ruling is clear. The protections don't apply here. The judge carefully explains appeal rights, deadlines, and the harsh reality of payment timing. The case ends with possession granted, showing how precise legal definitions can outweigh personal hardship.
And then if you need to move forward, you certainly can, okay? So today, the monthly rent was $13.59. The judgment amount is $21.91 for November and a proration of December. The additional cost would be the cost of court. Either party can appeal. Appeal will be equal to 1 month of rent at $13.59. Okay.
And then can I ask, so I know that you said previously that you have within the 5-day period to pay that amount to the court.
If you want to appeal, Ms. Nicholson, the first thing you do is you file an affidavit of appeal with the court, and you either pay the bond or you swear out that you can't afford it. And then after that is done, we give you a deadline, a very, very firm, this date at this time, for you to get the money for your situation, Ms. Nicholson, the $13.59 of a monthly rent, that must You got to get the cash to our courthouse by 5 p.m. Otherwise, the landlord can still get a writ of possession.
Okay, and if the program was to do that, would they be able to send a check, or how would they go about that? So I could just know, so when I contact them, I could give them the proper information as well.
Typically, someone can't post a bond for you.
Okay, got you.
And if someone mails a check, whether it's you or someone else, the check must arrive by that time. So
Okay.
that's always a little bit. In other situations, the time is extended, but this one is about possession. It's like that's it. It's 5 o'clock, and there's no
Very finite. Got you.
finite for that one.
Okay,
Those are
perfect.
great questions, Ms. Nicholson. I'm glad to answer those.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Ms. Nicholson, we appreciate you being a reservist, so thank you as well. Okay.
Thank you for your service, Ms. Nicholson, and I apologize for the turnout. I'm just doing my job. And also, Your Honor, just wanted to confirm about the judgment. Did you also award possession? Is it
Yes, it's judgment with possession.
back rent, court costs, and possession? And what would be the writ date?
That'd be standard. Okay.
Sorry,
All right. Thank you all very much. Good luck, everyone.
Guys, everyone have a good
Your Honor,
holiday.
did
All
you say
parties are excused. We appreciate it.
Your Honor, what's the writ date?
I'm sorry?
What's the date that we can request the writ?
I can't calculate that. I can only tell you got to do 5 days because next week we're going to have all those interruptions. But
exactly, yeah, that's why I wasn't sure with the holidays if it's okay. Gotcha.
And that's literally the reason they're like, Judge can't do it because I don't know. Let's say we have a freak ice storm and the building is shut down. That would also impact some of that. So
gotcha. Okay.
I know.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. I appreciate your time.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good afternoon.
You as
Have a
well.
happy holiday. Okay.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.